Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I really appreciate it. I took a couple weeks off from YouTube and Twitter just to sort of get myself together. You know, we all go through periods where things happen in our lives and we get, I have natural depression anyway, chemical depression, but I just wasn't able to focus, and I didn't want to say things that I didn't believe in. So it's important to me to try and be as good as possible when I tell you what I think. So anyway, let's talk markets. Ready? All right. Okay, so first of all, let's look at ES or SPX weekly futures. So last week was a really interesting week. We had sort of been curvaceous here on the upside, but this final huge ass engulfing green candle, and I mean, of course it did, led to more upside, but then we kind of had a little bit of a flashback. So, I mean, as of now, ES at least has a slightly higher low and a higher high, but certainly by no means does it look bearish yet. However, I am watching the RSI because we've had a couple of weeks of divergence here, and I don't think that this little red candle is quite enough to divert it. However, sometimes, and it's annoying to say this, but sometimes the divergence turns into like a bull flag, but this doesn't look like that to me. This looks like just a little more correction. And if you put your mouse over, if you're looking at the weekly chart and you put your mouse over sort of the top of this big green thing and then the back test of it twice, that's an important level, right? That's a horizontal important. Let me draw a line. Y'all know I'm not afraid of lines. Let's go. All right. Anyway, I'm going to do that right now. All right. Okay. That's at 38.82. So on a weekly basis, it is, I think, important that we hold above there, that bulls hold above there, if we want to go directly higher without some kind of channel retest first. Okay, that's good. Now let's look at the daily. So, last week was a down week. I mean, do any of these look particularly scary? I don't think so. Some days last week did feel kind of scary to me when I was looking at the NASDAQ, but so far from ES, not very scary at all. I mean, you could even make the argument that this is, bull flaggy just because of the wah, 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 wah. Even though the candles don't reflect it in the green and red, they're still like wah, wah. But anyway, it actually, if ES does get below this 38.73 level on a daily basis, and it's got a little MA there too, right under that, holding it, supporting it. If it gets if it gets below though 38.73, and this is daily, so that's Monday or Sunday night, I would think that would lead to more of a red week. Not that it won't, but anyway, from just supposedly, as unbiased as I can from that point of view, it's really not bearish until it's below this star line. And I'm not going to even say what this might look like if we get below 38.73. I'm going to wait because, you have to wait. But anyway, it would not surprise me to see a back test of the star line. However, it could certainly just continue upwards. That is a possibility. Yeah. Okay. Now let's look at NASDAQ weekly. So I had talked about a potential measured move eventually of getting to 17,800 or so. Gross. I think it's gross only because, well, I just think it's gross, but that's just me. Only because there hasn't been a big enough correction for me to be like firm believer. But you know what? That doesn't matter. I have not been correct in that. So you can see there's some divergence here as well. And we never did back test this line. And I think that this line is just a super important back test, but I mean, maybe that won't happen. And in fact, if it doesn't happen, it's possible that we keep going up, but that does mean when we go down, it's going to be down to down, 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 down. But anyway, if I were looking for some correction that's going to feel like a crash, even though it won't be, this next line would be a good back test. And this is weekly. Oh, let me move that over to. I don't know if it'll get over there this week. It's unlikely, just based on up. But anyway, I would look to get long, or to think about getting long, if it does correct this coming week at 12642 on a weekly basis. Let's look at the daily. Okay. I had started to scale into a short here, and I kept it actually until we got to right about here. And then I got rid of it because I was like, well, clearly it's not a Head and Shoulders, because it's going to get above the head. Anyway, so this original measured move that I had from this candle, where we did correct, I don't know if that's correction. I'd call it more like a little slap on the hand. It's not really a correction, because I don't think it scared anybody. I feel like correction should scare people a little bit. I don't know that that did. But anyway, I stopped out of that. And so we got above this, 13,600 level again, which bullish, right? But we did close the week just under it. So that to me is a little, ruh-roh. I mean, and not to say that it can't flash back above. And also, I don't know. This just doesn't look scary to me yet from a where we close perspective. It looks very computerized, does it not? It does to me. But we did have some divergence here that may have played out already. We'll have to see. But it's not bearish. Now, this thing's in the middle of nowhere from when I was messing with it before. But NASDAQ really isn't bearish on a daily perspective unless it's below this line, which is, about 13,000 or so, ish. But anyway, so I'm just watching it because it looks like it might be a fakey breaky. It might be from just a measured move perspective on the daily. So watching it, we'll see what happens. All right, now let's go to gold. So gold broke out of this weekly channel and then went back in, and I said on Twitter that I thought it was a fakey breaky, and I had lots of people make fun of me for that. And now I'm looking pretty not as bad as I did before. So anyway, from a weekly perspective, it's potential that we have a double bottom here. It does have potential there, but I would say that if it gets below 1758 or so from a weekly perspective, that would be very no bueno. No bueno at all. And you know what? Actually, that jives. So this is the weekly I have here on the upper left. I had to check. Upper left-hand side. This is the 4-hour, and this is the hourly. And I use those to do my scalps and my just overnight kind of things. But I was looking at this earlier, and let me just go ahead and draw in another line because I know y'all love that. Let's see. So I was looking at this earlier, and this to me looks like, I could be wrong. I'm not wrong about this. It looks to me like this potentially could be an inverse head and shoulder on the hourly. And wouldn't you know, if it, and that jives too with what I said, looking at the weekly chart. So basically, I'll just draw it in. Why not? Because I don't care. I could be wrong. Wow. If it does get to wherever this last shoulder was, so 1767, that's still okay. I mean, we did kind of close a little bit bullish. Finally, close the hourly a little bit bullish because we finally got above these MAs. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them, because we've been below all the MAs for how long, right? Finally, we had a close above at the very end of last week, but we'll see. I would love it to get down here because I would take a risk on it and then just stop out here below the head, right? I'd give it a little bit of wiggle room, but I'd take a risk on it if we went down from here. I'd try it. I don't know. Anyway, so, oops, it did all the markings on all the charts. I'll figure that out later. Okay, let's look at silver. Okay, so silver, I've said, never looked as bearish as gold did to me. And it hasn't acted as bearish either. I will tell you, I got willy whacked on the silver futures because I had drawn this dotted line in here on my 4-hour chart, and I had put in a stop right there because I had just gone long, actually. I was really proud of myself, and I had just gone long, and I put in a stop right there. And because I was like, well, this looks like a Head and Shoulders too, honestly, like this direction. That's what I thought, you know, shoulder, head, shoulder. I was like, if it gets, and it touched that line so many times that I thought, if it does it again, that's super bearish. So I put in a stop there. But because of the velocity of the move, because it was like wham, wham, bam, I put in a stop. I put in a stop slightly under it, slightly, because I didn't want to get stopped out. But I should have gotten stopped out because I knew that if it hit it again, it was going way down. Anyway, wouldn't you know? So I stopped out, and lost money. And wouldn't you know, it hit exactly pretty much my weekly channel and then bounced the F back up. If that hasn't happened to you yet, I don't know, you haven't been trading very long. That happens to everybody, but that's what happened to me last week. Got me in a bad mood. But I got it all back, shorting NASDAQ on Friday. Anywho, let's see. From just a overall perspective, as long as it stays, and it can go below, but it needs to kind of, this dotted line is important because this was the support that it got broken. So if it retests 2694 or so, that's going to be important. I don't think it can survive much more, yuckiness over here. So that's what I'm watching, 2694. Yeah, it just needs to hold that. And then if it doesn't, then 2661 might be worth a scale. And hopefully it goes straight up because I'm hodling it in my investment account until it looks disgusting. And right now it still does not look disgusting. It looks absolutely fine. It looks like it's doing good things. This doesn't look toppy to me at all yet. If it gets below 2661, it'll start to look very toppy and my ass will like skiddle. Possibly. I'll look at smaller time frames and I'll tell you on Twitter. Let's look at oil. Okay, so oil has been going up, 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 up. It finally went, it's funny because as soon as XOP broke out of this dotted line at 7209, it's been, oil was like, yeah. But, this is such a toppy looking candle that I can't help but think we're going to have some upward action next week, at least a little, just to be annoying to naysayers. But really, it's very bullish looking still from an overall grand scheme of things. Yeah, I don't really have that much to add. Sorry, no insight there. Okay, now, natural gas. So I drew a new line here just because I want to watch it here. I do have one it's tiny. I have like a they have micro and mini I don't even know which is which. I don't care. It's like tiny. Anyway, I had a tiny contract, a natural gas contract going into the weekend because, here's why. Because the weekly looked so crap that I was like, this looks so crap that it might be good. It might be bad, but it might be good. And I was looking at this previous high and then looking at the next candle, and I was looking at this high and looking at the next candle, and I was like, they look similar, right? Like kind of a green, I don't know. They look similar to me. These tops look similar to me, except for the next candle on this one was way like, bye-bye. And this one wasn't. It was sort of a supportive doji day on Friday. And from an hourly perspective, I mean, kind of flaggy, right? Kind of. I don't know. I just had one. It's almost like I just did it because it looked bad on the weekly and looked good on the hourly. And I was like, Let's see what happens. Okay, let's look at Joe. Okay, so first of all, can we just take a minute and talk about how amazing my crappy diamond that I drew in was, because it hit exactly, it back tested the 36.66 exactly. And then it looked negative, but I didn't tweet about it. I would have if I thought it was a sell, because I've been so bullish on it. But I just, you know what? Since I've been watching these diamonds lately and I've noticed algorithms, they all behave the same. There's not been one single clean diamond break in the actual direction in which it goes. It's like the first direction it breaks out of the diamond is the wrong direction every single time on all of these diamonds. It's weird. It's weird. And that's anecdotal evidence. I have not back tested this. I do not have an algorithm. I just have this. But every single time I've noticed that I've drawn a diamond, even on the hourly charts, on the daily charts, every single time is an exaggeration. A grand majority of the time. It breaks out the wrong way first, and then it goes the correct direction. It's almost tradable. It's tradable. It's totally tradable. Anyway, that's it for this week. Oh, it's 5 minutes until futures open, and I'm going to publish this, and probably futures will already be open. So anyway, I hope you have an amazing... Oh, make it big. Okay. I hope you have an amazing week, and I look forward to interacting with you. I missed you. I missed you a lot. And we're going to make lots of money this week. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye.